You are listening to Practical and Woo by Mindset and Manifest. My name is Eden, and I invite you to embark on a journey with me to explore the practical and spiritual edges of the unknown for the purpose of allowing you to embody and empower yourself uniquely as you are, and to intentionally create and live a life of freedom and fulfillment. Each week, I'm going to discuss topics such as energetics, reality creation, manifestation, astrology, tarot, human design, and more to help empower you to live beyond perceived limitations and to practically design your life so it feels like absolute magic every step of the way. Let's dive in. Welcome back for another episode of Practical and Woo by Mindset and Manifest. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to check in with yourself. How are you? How are you feeling? Are you holding any tension in your jaw, your neck, your shoulders? What about your back? Have you had a chance to stretch today? Breathe a little deeper. You are welcome to take a couple of deep breaths with me to offer yourself the warmth and nourishment of a sacred moment. I'm shining for you for offering yourself that nugget of care, because all of those nuggets add up and make a difference to your overall well-being. Thank you for taking that time with me. Now, let's dive into today's topic. We are discussing how to navigate the infinite advice, suggestions, tools, techniques, and tips that exist in the world, particularly on the World Wide Web, on social media, and in this global village of technological connection. An undeniable truth of being human is that you will have an opinion, and so will every thinking, breathing, and communicating person in this world. These opinions are based on life experiences and beliefs that we've acquired by living the course of our lives. So, what do you do when these opinions from others are encouraging you to do things? Potentially things you don't want to or feel like doing, but yet somehow have the sense that you should do them because you really want the result they're promising. I have a feeling you know what I'm talking about. When you want to achieve a result of any kind, whether it be health, aesthetic, physical changes, business success, finding a partner, making money, you can take one step outside of your front door or open your phone only to be bombarded with thoughts, with opinions, or advice about these things that you desire. This can get very overwhelming, especially when the advice contradicts itself. I remember when I was growing up, my mom would often talk about an infamous entity named they. They say that coconut oil is very bad for you. And the very next year, we would hear that they say you need to incorporate coconut oil into your diet in order to insert desirable result. In response to this, questions might arise. What do you do with this contradictory advice? How do you swim in the sea of information? What the heck is happening here? Where is the concrete truth, advice, or plan to get me from point A to point B? Well, the nature of the infinite potentiality of energy and the field of possibilities itself means that there are infinite possibilities for fulfilling and achieving your desires and your goals. If you can dream it, then you can have it. And the answer to how can I have it can and likely will be different and look differently for everyone. We are not one size fits all, which makes it incredibly important for us to find our way of doing things and our way of being that which we desire to be. Without the uniqueness of your journey, life would resemble a conveyor belt, void of color, experimentation, and play. And the good news is that your life is meant to feel good. And if you presently don't believe that, I invite you to examine why that might be. In my opinion, you do not have to force yourself into a direction that feels bland and not meant for you, simply because you think it will offer you what you're wanting. The truth is, your inner guidance system is most effective at directing you to the path of least resistance and guiding you to the next best step. So, how do you access this guidance system? The answer is your emotions and your intuition. Your emotions are a compass for the direction you're heading within your reality. The litmus test is examining and considering how you're feeling. If you feel really good about your desire and the pursuit of your desire, then you can have faith you're going the right way. If you're feeling constricted, stifled, weighed down by your choices, then your emotions are saying, kindly turn around and head the other way. And in response, you can gently invite yourself to reach for an accessible, better feeling thought. And then to build the momentum from there that we discussed in last week's episode. I'd like to name that Western society's villainization of emotions, particularly the emotions that feel bad or painful, is a key reason for the collective disempowerment around learning how to intentionally create your reality. When you stifle your access to your emotions as your compass for life, then you are stifling your ability to connect to your intuition. That sense, that knowing that something is the right step, even if it makes absolutely no logical sense. And instead of being able to access your emotions and your intuition, you heavily rely on an overzealous analyst, your mind. Operating solely from your mind, you are sporadically and haphazardly chasing the next best thing that you think will offer the results that you're seeking. Using only the tool of your mind locks you on the hamster wheel of perpetually chasing results, which often leaves you feeling tired, frustrated, and confused, which, if you think about it, may actually be emotional signs that you're going against the grain of your personal journey. Instead, you learning to feel and play your way through life in flow by following the direction of your emotions is both more effective and more pleasurable than just using your mind. I want to be clear here. I am not suggesting to you to act or react to things from your emotions. I am inviting you to begin witnessing your emotions and to notice how your emotions and your feelings invite you to take and make steps that feel right for you. I am also not asking you to prevent yourself from using your mind. In fact, employing healthy skepticism to every opinion or advice you encounter gives you the necessary space to decide if something is for you or if it's being forced upon you. Learning to access your emotions as a guide and compass, not as the driver, is an important step for effectively sifting through the infinite information in the field of energetic potentiality. You deserve to create a life that you love, and in doing so, deciding what is for you, whether or not it feels logical, and moving one step at a time in the flow of your journey. Now, before I let you go, I have a story that at the time of creating this episode transpired and encouraged me to add this in last minute. So, full transparency here. I had a soul session with a wonderful person that I found. And even the nature of finding this person was and felt aligned. Like my body was just really lit up about it. Usually, I process decisions like that for a longer period of time than I did in this context. And it just felt right. So I went with it. I had this session yesterday, and what came out of it was that my guides, we'll talk about guides and spirit council on future episodes here at Practical and Woo by Mindset and Manifest. But until we do so, just sort of open yourself up to the idea that you have energetic forces that are supporting you on your journey along the way. That is such a fun and supportive and safe topic to feel into and recognize in and for yourself. And so my guides came through the session and they were instructing her to tap in and connect with them more. I felt so called out. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I know that that is the case. And I know that I, you know, desire and need to actually make stronger connections with them for my own personal journey than potentially I do. And so I took that advice to heart. And this morning I woke up and I decided to engage some of the direction in which I received in that session, including the connection to the guides. And I pulled up an app or a program that I have with certain transcendental meditations and activations that I can select from. And they're written in the format of month and year only. They don't tell you what they're about. And so, in connection, in this, connection point with my counsel, with my guides, I started to feel into which one I should select. And so when I was doing so, I really took note of what it is I feel in my body. And the ones that felt really right almost was like when you were playing that game as a kid and a guide or a parent would tell you you're warm or you're cold. So in my body, I would feel this like warmth coming out of my heart and this tingling sensation inside of my body that was the one I should select. And then in a different year, that was like cold from the direction that I was being invited to go in. I felt this constriction, this kind of like tension, this weight in my body, almost like as if I was almost like punched in the stomach, but it wasn't painful. So it's a contraction almost like ugh. And so I went back to the ones where I felt warm and tingly, and the activation that I ended up selecting had exact information that I was being asked to explore from the soul session yesterday. And it just, there's no such thing as a coincidence. And everything really is interconnected. And that's what makes energy work, manifestation, and reality creation so much fun if you want it to be and look that way. So that is a quick story for you. As always, if you have any questions or curiosities, I'd love to discuss them with you. In the show notes, in the description of this episode, you can find ways to get into contact with me. Keep being and playing in your life. Until next time.